Saying so, it's like being mindful of what you say. Be very cognizant of what you say, because people may forget what you say, but they will not forget how you made them feel. Is there ever a time that it's okay to hit on a woman? The question, the quick answer is no. No. Now, let's also throw in there, it's not okay to ever hit a man, and that's the same thing for a man. However, there are times that come into play where it's understood and understandable why one would do so. You know what I mean? I know for me, I've never hit a woman ever in my life in the face. You know what I mean? I don't even know playing or nothing like that. I've grabbed some faces and kissed them, like movie type shit, but I've never hit a woman in the face like I even slapped, you know what I'm saying? Have I shaken one? Maybe I can go as far as probably shaking one, you know what I'm saying, or grabbing them or something like that. But most of my relationships have been, they've been toxic. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if I've ever been in a healthy relationship. However, we've never gotten to the point where we've gotten that far. Now I've been pushed a few times, you know what I'm saying, in my day, but nothing that would lead to. I never felt like it's just always been ingrained in me that you don't hit women. You know what I'm saying? That's just for me personally. I don't do it. I don't hit women. That's not my thing. Now, if it's something sexual, even then I question it. But I'm not opposed to it. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's whatever. Some people have different fetishes as far as what they're into. You know what I mean? I'm not about to knock you out. I don't know nothing sexy about that. I come through with the cling bow and put you down. But as for hitting a woman, nah. Is there ever a right time? Is there ever a time to do so? I don't think so. I know it was very big back in the 50s, 30s, 40s, all that. You see all the movies, a woman gets slapped or some shit like that. Are there times where women warrant an ass whooping? Indubitably. As Daffy Duck would say, indubitably. She definitely would be deserving of getting her ass whooped. Shaken, knocked into her senses. Now, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to you spazzing the fuck out or some shit like that, literally tripping, and you get slapped to be, brought back to your senses, but nothing where I'm beating you down. Stay down there, bitch. None of that. None of that type of shit. But snap out of it type thing. You know what I mean? I personally, I'm not opposed to doing so. Have I ever done so? No. But I don't oppose to doing it. That's just me being honest with y'all. As far as hitting a woman, slapping them on the ass, literally. Whichever one you prefer. You know what I'm saying? But as for hitting women, no, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. And I'm also not a fan of tearing down men. I'm not a fan of tearing down anybody. So, if there's men that have done that, by all means, that's whatever works for you, bro. It ain't for me. I don't want to hear anything about my kid being hit by, a man or anything like that, because that's something that I have to get dealt with accordingly. However, I am not for the whole concept of hitting women. That's not my thing. That's not my thought thizzle. So I hope that answers the question. I really don't have much to elaborate on, like to go well in depth like I can. But on the aspect of hitting a woman, I'm opposed to it. And the aspect of hitting a man or woman, doing that, some women feel like they'll test their bound, how far they can go, you know what I'm saying, emotionally, and try to get you to lose your cool, shit test you, if you will. I'm not a fan of that shit either. So don't hit no damn body. Basically, like don't hit the woman. Woman don't hit the man. And everybody just go your neutral corners, do some breathing exercises, meditate, whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? Just don't hit my ass. Honestly, that's a sign. I mean, right there, that's a red flag. That's automatic grounds for termination, right there. Violent women. Yeah, violent women is definitely a red flag. That's one of the red flags in the unplugged alpha, for that matter. Violent women, no, fuck no. Yeah, we're not doing that. What we're gonna do is treat each other with respect. Those slaps come in handy on the sexual aspect, but damn all of that. We're not doing, we're not hitting women. I'm not a fan of it. But like I said, I'm also not. I'm also not going to tear the men down that do. There's no point in tearing them down. I mean, they have bigger issues to worry about. Just don't. Get the help that's needed. And that's really what like I said, that's really all I got to say about hitting a woman. Don't do the shit. The idea of a woman with multiple partners. Is it something that you want? No, you don't want that. Especially if you're in a committed relationship, especially a marriage for that matter. No pun against anyone that's like I said, been cheated on or being cheated on right now, and you don't know it. Whatever situation comes up, I hope that the universe is able to reveal something to you that will show you that that's going on, and you'll have to make that decision for yourself. But as for women, the double standard really, I believe, is what the question is about. When it comes to women and having multiple partners, and I've had this conversation with a few friends, I believe women are, women dating to find out what she wants. I believe women been doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's really, I believe it's the men that that really get the, like I said, the bad rap for doing the same thing. As far as vetting to see what, like what's best for them. That type of thing. But all in all, it's just it's a standard. It's a societal standard, and we're grown people, so you're gonna do what the fuck you want to do. She gonna do what she want to do. She might not brag, she might not boast about it or say anything about it, but a person's gonna do what they want to do. You know what I mean? For whatever reason that they do, it's not for us to assume why they're doing it. They have their own reasons for doing so, and they very well may do shit for no reason. Who knows? But as for a woman, the big thing that we want to drive home with as men, as of course, yes, it's known men, men known dogs or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Having talking to, or being married and having girlfriends and all that thing. Like I said, that's not something I've never been married. I've never been married to even say, but that's not something that I would advocate. You know what I mean? Again, talk to me when I'm married, but it's not something that I would advocate. Like for me, if I'm gonna do it, then I want to do it like the way it really is supposed to be done. Like if you're gonna make that decision, do all that shit before joining, unless that's something that you and the wife are into, where you guys include women and shit. But even then, that's Pandora's box. You know what I mean? To do so, and because what happens when you do it and without the other person knowing or something like that, and it's like, well, we already did it, we just did it without you type thing. But one thing to drive home to women about this aspect of having multiple partners, let's just say that a woman were to fuck multiple guys, right? Let's say she's fucking multiple guys, and whether that's raw, whether that's common, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? There's 4 guys or 3, whatever it is. Ain't no judgment to this woman. The fact that she's fucking whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's just, there's no judgment here. But what we're talking about is when it comes to, she pops up pregnant and she's been with 3, 4 guys. How do you know which one is the father? It's tough to tell. You probably have to take a test for that, right? And as for a man, if he's fucking around, you know, or whatever, doing his thing, and he's dealing with the same number, like 3 women or something, and that woman, and each of those women, like, get pregnant, and we're stating, and this is believing that they're only fucking with this one guy, he knows that that baby is his. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a double standard, yes. By society. By the rule of, like, the book of law, your own laws, do what the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, is there things that's frowned upon in the manosphere? Sure. Like, certain things you look for in a woman that's able to help nurture a family. Yeah, there's certain qualities that are going to be looked at, frowned upon. So yeah, that's where the double standard comes in when it comes to shit like that. However, but again, you got to think about the concept that you're more inclined to get women that want to be married than men. You know what I mean? So if you want to be married, and marriage is what you want to do, then you want to show why this man should give up all of this over here, this access. Why should he give up all this access to women? You know what I mean? Like, again, you have women all the time online, especially feminists, that, or, you know, they're constantly preaching about, you know, themselves, and, you know, we'll just kick them to the curb and all this other shit. But you're still by yourself, and that's not what you want. Now, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with being single, being by yourself and getting to know yourself. But for the women that want to actually be in relationships and married, how are you going to do it? You're not going to get the guy that you want using the bait that you like. You're only going to get the guy that you want by the bait that he likes. You understand what I'm saying? So if indeed you feel like, oh, fuck it, if they can do it, I can do it. Okay, you go ahead and do that. Now, when that individual does not want to take anything further because he's seeing you in that light, that you have to live with that. And the same goes for men. Like, if a man, you know, again, being very promiscuous himself, and he's like, you know, I'm looking for a woman to marry, and these women know who you know, they know your MO. You know what I mean? They know your MO. It's like, how am I to take you seriously? That type of thing. So what we're talking about, yes, is double standard. You know, it is frowned upon for women to have multiple partners. And it's, you know, the whole thing, and some would say men are cheered for having, you know, for being able to talk to so many girls or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I've been with this girl and that girl and all that stuff, you know, it's like, oh man, he's the man. Now, let's also keep in mind that the way it's been from the beginning of time with men, women, the masculine, the feminine, all of that shit encompasses this whole very point right here. A woman must reserve her value where a man has to build his. And that doesn't mean that women don't have to work for, to add to their life or nothing like that. But what I'm saying is that you're more inclined to get the guy, like if a man were to somehow land a 35-year-old virgin or a 40-year-old virgin or something like that, a female, 40-year-old virgin, it's never been touched, it's never been tainted, and sucking dick don't count. So I'm talking about she ain't done shit. She ain't done no foreplay, none of that shit. She ain't let nobody eat the pussy, eat the ass. She hasn't eaten ass, she ain't eaten pussy, none of that. She's done none of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, to land upon that for a man that is 30 and up, to land something like that is a unicorn. You know what I mean? Same thing for a woman. Well, it ain't too uncommon, you know what I'm saying, for a woman to come across maybe like a 35-year-old man that's a virgin. And looking at him, he might more than likely is overweight, doesn't have confidence, probably doesn't have any money, maybe lives with his parents. You know what I'm saying? He's not the type that's like helping the parent type thing, but more so the parents are still helping him and you know what I'm saying, in their 30s. Like, he's unattractive, pretty much. He's unattractive. That type of thing. Like, those situations come up, understand. It's not gonna, like I said, you'd be very hard pressed to have that. All in all, a woman's value must be preserved, okay? A woman's value must be preserved, and a man must build his value. A man has to become a man. Otherwise, he will remain a boy. Fact. That's it. You can look around, you can see the women that they attract, they get with women, and their women do everything for them the same way that their mother did before they left the house. You know what I'm saying? But what women want to be with men who lead, masculine men. Well, feminine women want masculine men. Let me be clear. There are some women who still want to be a mother to a grown man. Then they lead with their masculine energy and they attract the feminine man, and then they end up doing that stuff. They resent it later on. They resent the fact that they have a man child. You know what I'm saying? That's a grown man and still a boy at heart. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, men must be men, women must be women. And what I'm saying is that for a woman, again, a woman wanting a relationship, a woman wanting to be married and all this stuff, if you're running around acting like the bad versions of men, you're not going to put yourself like, if you were looking for a wife or anything like that, you know, the woman that just wants to focus on you, or the woman who has multiple partners. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I believe it works the same thing for women too. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Women don't want to be with a man that other women don't want to fuck, and but they don't want their man fucking other women. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's what I'm saying for a man. Again, that goes back to that 35, 40-year-old virgin. If a woman landed him and realized she's got a 40-year-old virgin, she's gonna ask herself, what the fuck is wrong with him? You know what I mean? Like, why ain't nobody trying to fuck him? Why am I the only one? She's gonna, you know what I'm saying? A woman's gonna question that. These thoughts are gonna come to mind. And yeah, it is a double standard, but you don't have to give a fuck about it. You truly can do whatever the fuck you want to do in this life. You can, but know that whatever choice you make comes with consequences. That's for anybody. That's for women, and that's for men. And people that are women that identify as men, and for men that identify as women. Same shit. Whatever decision you make, you have to deal with the consequences that come along with it. And some are willing to do so and others are not. But all in all, double standard, yes, it is. There is a double standard when it comes to women having, again, talking to multiple people, and being with multiple men. I believe that's what the question is. And as far as like the aspect of men being like, one is praised, the other is looked down upon. And I truly believe that it goes to the whole thing that a woman's value must be preserved, where a man's value must be built. What does spirituality mean to you, and how does it shape you as a man? I say all the time that I really started getting into a spirituality after my last committed relationship. You know what I'm saying? The one that I was in for a little while. Because I was at my lowest. I was being a character of myself. I was at my lowest. I was trying to to be something to keep someone. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to be whatever I thought that person wanted me to be, instead of being myself, living in my authenticity. You know what I mean? And then what that did was it caused me to look inward, because I didn't have anywhere else to go. So once I started looking inward, I discovered my soul and the difference between my soul and my ego. Now, I manage both of them. Some days better than others, some days not so much. But I manage my my ego and my soul to the best of my ability. And what I've learned dealing with like the spirit, being like a spiritual aspect versus like, let's say, religion. You know what I mean? Like, spirituality encompasses everybody. Religion is like fraternities and sororities, you know what I'm saying? There's a certain set of rules that you gotta follow, and if you don't follow these, then we don't fuck with you. Conditional love, you know what I'm saying? As to where spirituality is more about everyone. Like, you treat everyone with the same respect, if you will, and it doesn't put it on anybody else. That's what I love about it. I love the fact that I don't have to put it on anybody else. There's no blaming when it comes to that. Like, it's truly about me. I feel like when I get myself into shit, I know that it has nothing else to do with nobody but me. Whenever I start blaming others, I know the ego is talking. And it'll do that sometime in my head, like, I would have had this if my mom had done this, or I would have had this if that girl hadn't done that. You know what I'm saying? When you start doing that, when you start coming up with excuses, your ego is talking loud and proud. You know what I mean? But like, for me, being spiritual as a man, it's allowed me to be accountable for the shit that I did. Not anybody else, but the shit that I did and the shit that I allowed. Because it is I that's in control. I am in control. Whatever decision I make, I made that. It was a choice. Even if whether it was fear kept me in something, I chose to be there. I could have gone on, but I was afraid of whatever behind the whole thing. But I made a choice to stay where I was. And I'm grateful for learning about, spirituality, Buddhism, really just many teachings. I don't really have one. There's some things that, they say, like some of Jesus' teachings, Buddha, Confucius, the ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, you know what I'm saying? These guys have so many different things that allow you to live a virtuous life. And I believe that's really what we want to live. We want to live a virtuous life as far as like how we treat people, and not allowing one to get to, to get to them. Like, deciding that you're not going to be offended. You're choosing to not be offended, because anger is a choice response. And just because somebody gives you a gift doesn't mean you have to take it. So if I come to you with anger, if I'm speaking to you in an angry tone, I'm doing everything in my power to piss you off. As long as you know who you are, as long as you are secure within yourself, it doesn't matter what the fuck I say to you. It'll all come back to me, and it'll be even worse, because I'm the one that's spewing out the negative energy. But if you also are unsure about yourself, if you are insecure, you're going to spew that very same hatred back to me, because like, no, I can't let nobody talk to me like that. You don't gotta deal with shit. Really, it's all about your response to shit, you know what I'm saying? There's people that get themselves into shit, and then before you know it, a temporary emotion creates a permanent decision for you. And things, words, actions, it's just like nails into a board. Every time you say something fucked up, you hit a nail. Now, you can apologize for all those nails that you've tagged in, but once you remove the nail, it still has a mark. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being mindful of what you say. Be very cognizant of what you say, because people may forget what you say, but they will not forget how you make them feel. And so it's just like being very mindful, man. Learn to speak in a loving language. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking with people. Now, there's sometimes when you gotta be stern, you gotta be assertive, you wanna get shit done. I get that. You in the store and they treating you a certain way because of your race or because of your gender, whatever it is, you might have to be assertive and handle your fucking business. You know what I'm saying? You're in a relationship and they're being very disrespectful to you in front of people that you value and love. You may have to be assertive. If you're at the job and you're not being, if you're being talked to and torn down in front of your peers, you may have to be assertive. Like there's a time for that. There's a time for that, but it's all about your technique, your delivery, as far as like how you do that. And what I'm grateful for is the act of spirituality and what it did for my life. It changed me because I used to be very, very emotional, like responding emotional. But it allowed me to be very stoic and calm, and you know what I'm saying? To kind of be assertive though. You know, don't be no bitch, but be assertive about what you're going to do, how you want to respond to something, and really just engage, communicate. You know what I'm saying? Like not dismiss the other person, but also speak for myself too, and let my voice be heard. You know, there's days where I still get triggered. I'm not gonna act like I'm fully healed or 100% from where I used to be very, very quiet on things. There's still things that I'm still working through, especially if someone mirrors a personality of something I grew up with. And there's times where, you know, I'll get frozen. I'll shut down. You know what I'm saying? I really won't say much. If I don't really trust my surroundings, anxiety's high as fuck. So I'm going to do everything I can to protect myself. So it's like being triggered. And you want to shut down and remain where you are until you can find safety, whether safety comes to you or you find your way out. But it's helped me become a better man, along with other like teachings. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like the people that I follow, my mentors, I'm very cognizant of my diet, of what I watch, what I listen to, and I remove anything that ain't got shit to do with nothing. Like if you want me to argue why these two people on this reality show should be fighting, what is it? What benefit is that for me? It does nothing for me. You know what I mean? And yeah, just like trying to rile people up, having like news headlines. You know what I'm saying? I think I saw one, and again, it's no judgment. It's just deciding what I don't want for me. I think I saw a headline that was made. Why this is a headline, I do not know, but I guess Lotto, the rapper, Lotto, young girl, 22, 23, thick as fuck. But you know, I guess some fan had her was trying to sell her used panties online. Why the fuck do we know that? Why? Just tell me why. How does that make my life better? Because I know that he got the used draws. Hey man, you ain't gonna believe this. $95,000 for draws. I'm not getting the money. I don't give a fuck. But that's the type of shit I'm saying. I like to be very mindful of the shit that I watch, the shit that I entertain. And don't get me wrong. It can be a bit contradicting. I have some mindless shit that I will entertain. I'll never get tired of watching Love and Hip Hop. Atlanta, because the bodies is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Not to mention the characters are a riot. Mama D is fucking hilarious. When she spelled out, she is a BICTH, mind you, CTH, and in that order. And then Scrap, I'm talking about I want to put them paws on. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's funny. I just don't ingest it all. And I have to be very mindful how long I watch it because it's easily to slide back in and ingest that shit. But, you know, I think you get what I'm saying though. Like just being very mindful of certain things, and spirituality has allowed me to see these things. If I'm trying to go somewhere I've never been, I'm not able to do the same things I've been doing. And I think that spirituality has allowed me to do that. It's allowed me to ascend from where I came from before. You know, like the mindset of being such a weak individual that was looking to others to save him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of making decisions on his own. Now to be a little bit more in the leader position. Being able to stand up for oneself, still learning, again, I'm staying a student, but being in a position where I can stand up and say something, be assertive, set boundaries with people, learn to say no and not feel bad about it. That's a big thing. When you're, raised to be a people pleaser and, and shit like that, saying no, that shit is tough. It's tough, but it's necessary for your own good. You have to value you over everything else. It's a must that you must value yourself, your own well-being, your own mental health above anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like I cannot stress that enough for people watching. And that you need to really value your mental health first before anything else. But spirituality has just been a godsend, if you will. Go figure. But like I said, I really don't do the religion shit. I was raised Christian, but now I look at myself as like, I recognize God and the universe mainly. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure, yeah, his God's son, Jesus, all of that stuff, yeah, I get it, and I respect anyone who truly just follows all of that. But I recognize that there is a higher power, but I also recognize the powers of the universe and being aligned with it, and recognizing your soul and your ego. And this is not to persuade anybody away from whatever they believe in. I think that there's enough to go around. I think we all can believe in whatever we believe in without trying to convert that other person into believing what the fuck we believe. There's enough life to go around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to try to convert me to be a Buddhist. You don't have to convert me to be a Muslim. You don't have to convert me to be a Christian. You believe what the fuck you believe and just go on about your way. But just don't try to shit on me for doing what the fuck I do. I don't shit on you. You don't shit on me. We not shitting, basically. Ain't no shitting going on. We shouldn't be, at least. But you do have people that feel like this is the only way, and I respect that. That's great. Because without a doubt, that your way is the right way. And that is the voice of the ego. But with spirituality, you get to, you just get to be. You don't have to prove anything to anybody else. And that's the beauty I love about it. I love about spirituality is that I don't have to prove anything. I don't. If I believe that there's the God in the universe, it's God in the universe. If I believe that there's God, Jesus, and the universe, it's just that. And you can talk to you blue in the face. It don't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Because I'm going to believe whatever I believe, and that's okay. We'll find out who's wrong in the end, won't we? That's how I see it. So, I'm grateful for spirituality. Grateful for everything. Yeah. The soul of a man. I would describe the soul of a man like of being so in tune with trying to be there, provide for his family. You know what I'm saying? Like that, the essence of man is to do that. It's just something that we just are. It's ingrained in us. I think to want to provide, and some of us did. Some of us really did try to provide, and then we had people in our lives who really were not appreciative of that. And then they got a different version of that man. You know what I mean? And his soul was crushed. Wanting to do any and everything for his family, his love. You know what I'm saying? But when a man when a man doesn't feel appreciated, he very well might stay. He might stay there, but it's not going to be the same. And I'm borrowing that from shit I seen on TikTok, right? Aren't we all on that shit, right? At some point in time. But he said something that just spoke to me, man. And it's just like, even if that man stays, you'll never get the same version. He has to be a version of him that he can survive. That shit cut deep. deep. That a man will stay in a situation, but it's got to be a situation where he can survive. So there's a difference between being there for love and then being there for survival. And there are plenty of men in relationships, I'm sure. I'm sure there's people. Listen, but for this particular question, we're talking about the soul of a man. There's plenty of men in relationships that are there probably for the strength of their kids, so they can see their kids, and it's not much of a hassle, but they don't get the same. You don't get the same person that you had in the beginning. I've been in that situation more than once, to be honest, and yeah, I can attest to that, where you're there based on survival. At least you feel like you have to be there for survival when you really can just go. You gotta be willing to deal with whatever's being said after you leave, but you gotta be willing to go. You gotta have the courage to walk away when you're not, when respect is no longer being served towards you. But the soul of a man is really, like I said, really his family, man. Like that love that a man truly has for his family. And sometimes things happen that cause extreme traumatic energy to enter. And if you're not mindful of your thoughts, you can get succumbed by it. And you can fall into a deep depression for a very, very, very long time. And when you don't know that nothing anyone does is ever about you. You blame yourself, you make shit about you. Like that right there hits you as a man. And you think about a lot of men that, they have to go have a drink before they come home. They're there physically, but mentally they're just zoned the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Some of them might even take their frustrations out on their children. And it's just like that soul of a man is just like, for us men, we're taught to not communicate about our emotions. Truthfully, that's just what it is. Like there's no, since we were younger, man the fuck up, man up. So talking about how you feel is going to have people look at you a certain way. And the downfall of that is we're gonna go through shit. For our families, we're gonna go through shit at work, we're gonna go through shit in traffic, on the way home to the family, leaving the job, and we're gonna get there. And then, for those of us that are actually, into our families, you know what I'm saying? Trying to do things with your family. So you got individuals that just don't appreciate you there and the family. You know what I mean? Because you're always there. You take something for granted because you're always there. Like you're punctual, you're reliable. Being reliable is going to, the downfall of being reliable is that people take you for granted when they know that you're going to be there. And that's just us. We chase what we probably shouldn't have. We always go after our temptations, but if somebody is like right there and reliable, it's like, nah, it's too easy. It seems like it's too easy, but that ideally, I think that's what, what people should, I believe people would want. I won't speak for anybody else. I'll speak for me. You want reliability and all that, but something comes along and fucks up all that. And, that soul of a man, once it's crushed, like, let's just say again, childhood trauma, and you have issues with, it seems like every woman going from your mother to, even kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like you've given all you've given, and you feel like it's not received well, like it's not appreciated. Anytime you do something you don't feel appreciated, little by little, there's a piece of you that leaves every time you're still there. You know what I mean? And I feel like the soul of a man is centered around his ability to provide and, for his family, however way that he can. And, or even his, again, like the love for your family. And then things happen to men, and they just, they lose their way. And I'm not saying that it's right to lose your way or whatever it is, but I do understand how one can become like lose themselves to addiction. And you know what I'm saying? Like, as for men, women, I admire the strength of a woman. Truly, I truly do admire the strength of a woman to endure the way that a woman can endure certain things. Are they stronger than us? There's a strong case that can be made how women are much stronger emotionally, dealing with heartbreak, dealing with trauma, dealing with different things that happen to women in life, and they're able to just somehow pick up the pieces, especially when it comes to saving face for her kids. You know what I mean? But as for men, some work that needs to be done. And the only way we get that is by looking at ourselves and going to therapy, mental health. You know, our families need us. Oh, the Lord knows they really do. You know what I'm saying? Suicide rates, you know, like where they are. I saw that a man, one of my mentors, he was kind of talking about it. I guess a man had jumped to his death at Disneyland in California not too long ago because of some scenario that he was caught up in. I think it's from school or from work. I think he's a teacher or a principal or something like that. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like to get to that point where you're that, you know, where you're that far off, man. Again, the soul of a man. There is so much that goes into just that, the idea of providing, having that strength, wanting to, you know, give all you can. And, you know, we all go through shit. At the end of the day, we all go through shit, men, women. But the one thing that can keep us going, man, is love. I don't care where you get it from. Mainly if you got self-love and you practice that, by all means, it is a beautiful thing to have. It keeps you going when you feel like you don't have anybody. But like if you got a support system, if you have friends that you can call upon that will not judge you and just allow you to talk, they just listen. You are definitely a blessed individual, man. Like the soul of a man derives from, I believe, his family. And some of us don't have actual kids. They have friends that they refer to as family. You know what I'm saying? So to have that, like wanting to live for them, that's really what I believe. That's what that's how I would describe the soul of a man. The soul of a man is really like put into providing for his family, seeing his family reap the benefits of something he went out and did. Similar to, you know, like the caveman going out and getting whatever meat, you know, bringing that back to the family and so that they can eat and, you know, shit like that. But life is challenging. Yeah, life is very challenging for us. Yeah, it's challenging for us men when you have to refrain from showing your emotions and then somehow have to express these emotions, but not do it in an emotional delivery, and then go out and be strong for your family and for the world, for yourself. It can be a lot. It can be. And you know, when you see some men and they get called weak, here's another perspective. Maybe that weak man is tired of being strong. The shit that you have no idea what an individual has to go through. They suffer, and when a person is prone for suffering in silence, you have no idea what they've had to go through. But as they say, you know, you never know what anyone is going through. Show kindness, show love. Make sure you show unconditional love to everyone. I recommend that. You know, whatever it is, whatever you do, don't expect anything in return. And yeah, I think I'm gonna end it with that. Peace out.